This video is divided into two halves. First video contains information about what is blood pressure, the consequences of having uncontrolled high blood pressure, and the recipe to prepare that magic herbal tea that is going to cure your high blood pressure. The second video contains information about what are the limitations of consuming that tea, means who are those people who should avoid consuming that tea, and when and how many times a day you should consume that tea in order to reap its maximum benefits. So please do watch both the videos because half knowledge is worse than the ignorance. So now let's begin. Hi, good morning everyone. In this video, I'm going to tell you about one magic herbal tea that is going to cure your blood pressure. If you have hypertension, obviously that means an elevated blood pressure. But usse pehle, you will have to learn to trust me. I'll have to gain your trust, right? I'm a person who wants to heal people without medicines. That's an ultimate aim in my life. That's what I'm passionate about. I love doing research on nutrition. I love reading books about nutrition, and I love sharing my knowledge with you people. I don't want to confine my knowledge to myself. I want to share it with as much people as I can. So now let's begin. Do you know the fact that almost 9 million people, they die every year all over the world because of high blood pressure? Yes, and I am not saying this statement. This research is recently published in Lancet. Now, what is Lancet? That is one of the world's leading medical journal. It has clearly stated over there that almost 9 million people, they die every year because of high blood pressure. So now what is blood pressure? Look, आप कभी डॉक्टर के पास गए हैं, अगर अपना ब्लड प्रेशर चेक कराने, तो you must have observed the doctor gives you 2 units, right? And जो normal consider करते हैं, that is 120 by 80, right? So 120 होता क्या है? 120 is a systolic blood pressure and 80 is a diastolic blood pressure. Look, अब we all know that the heart beats around 72 times per minute, right? That's a normal, that's a normal heart rate. So hota kya hai? When the heart is beating, when the heart is pumping, it is actually pushing blood in the arteries. So just pressure se blood ja raha hai in the arteries, that is called as a systolic blood pressure, and that is 120. That's normal considered as, right? Or when the heart is actually resting between the beats, right? The pressure of the blood in the arteries is comparatively low. Obviously, yes, and that is called as a diastolic blood pressure, जो भी normally considered किया जाता है 80, right? 80 mm of mercury. So the normal blood pressure is 120 by 80 mm of mercury. I hope you are clear. Okay now. So, but अगर आपका blood pressure is greater than 140 by 90, that is considered as high blood pressure. That is considered as hypertension. Now, there are several consequences of high blood pressure in the body. Look, there are several kinds of arteries in the body, right? Arteries means the blood vessels that are carrying blood from the heart to the different organs of the body. They're like water pipes. The water pipes, they deliver water from the tap to the plants. So similarly, in our body, there are arteries that deliver blood from the heart to the different organs. There are some arteries that are thicker, but there are some arteries that are very minute. They're very thin walled, they're very sensitive, like those in the eyes, like those in the kidney. They are minute arteries, they're delicate arteries in the brain as well. तो अब सोचो, अगर आपका blood pressure high है, those arteries can get ruptured, yes or no? Because they're very sensitive. And if the arteries that is supplying blood to the eye gets ruptured, what is going to happen? Eye damage. If the artery that is supplying blood to the kidney gets ruptured, what is going to happen? Internal bleeding, kidney damage. And if the same process happens in the brain, that is called as a brain stroke. And that artery can also rupture, that rupture can also occur in the arteries that is supplying blood to the heart. And ultimately, your heart can fail also. मैं आप लोगों को डरा नहीं रही. I'm just telling you the consequences of having high blood pressure if not managed for a long period of time. Yes, and in fact अगर आपका blood pressure बहुत high है, आप खुद सोचो, you are putting an excessive load on your heart. So it can also lead to heart failure in the long term. So now let's prepare that one magic herbal tea that is going to cure your high blood pressure. Take China rose flower, they're also known as hibiscus flower or gudel ke phool. Remove this part, that is the reproductive part, as well as the green part, this is also called as a calyx. And separate the petals, that is the colored part of the flower. Discard these parts. For 3 to 4 flowers, you have to use 1 cup of water. Here I am using 2 glasses of water, so I'll be using 6 to 8 flowers. Keep the water to boil. When the water begins to boil, switch off the flame and add the flower petals to it. And then cover it with the lid and let it rest for around 10 minutes. After 10 minutes, remove the lid and separate the petals. Your tea is ready. You can either consume it hot or cold, it's up to you to decide. You can either add mint leaves, ginger or lemongrass in your tea as well. Add lemon and see the difference in color. The color changes from maroon red to bright red. It's beautiful, right? The content will be continued in the next video.